Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Owen Video, here with Nick Nimmin, and our guest today is Jake Larsen. Jake, I've known for a long time, and he's got a fantastic bio. After Google asked him to be a YouTube marketing ambassador, Jake quit his job a month before his first child was born. I know his family, and I've watched his rise. I've known him since then. And Jake started Video Power Marketing, a video ad agency that has generated millions of dollars in trackable sales for their clients. Jake has a real unique system for going after YouTube ads. So if you're a business owner or if you want to use YouTube ads to grow, I suggest you turn the volume up and listen to this interview. Jake Larsen's the real deal. Jake, great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Nick and Owen. I gotta thank you because I talked with Dolly Parton backstage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we're gonna be doing a video ad campaign together. So really excited about that.
Nice.
That's
way to
fantastic.
go. That's landing a good client right there. If
Yeah.
if only you would have been doing this 40 years ago. You would have been in there.
The Business of Video podcast is your claim to fame, folks. You know, it's like the last step. Jake, okay, so I really want to talk about Creative Queen logging in. Great to see you, Creative Queen. Happy trails. And we've got the Real Estate Whisperer also logging in. Great to have you here. Jake, tell us a little bit about YouTube ads. Like, there's a couple different types of YouTube ads, right? Can you walk us through a little bit like what the YouTube ads landscape looks like?
Yep. YouTube ads, the landscape is bright. The future is bright. So there's two types of ads, right? There's the in-stream ads that you can skip after 5 seconds. And then there's the in-discovery ads that show up on the right-hand side on suggested videos. One of my favorite things about the in-stream ads, YouTube or Instagram or other advertising channels, is the way it tracks a view. So, just to kind of make some comparisons on Facebook, if you watch a video for 3 seconds or you're scrolling through your news feed and the audio's off, you watch it for 3 seconds, that counts as a view. When you compare it to YouTube, it's not a view until a viewer watches 30 seconds or half the ad or kind of clicks on the ad, whichever comes first. So for example, if you have like a 60-second video ad and somebody watches 29 seconds and then skips it, you as the advertiser don't have to pay. So you're getting like a true view. It's a high quality view. And it's a great tool for business owners or advertisers to get their message in front of millions of people at a great cost too.
That's great. That's great. And hey, if you got questions for Jake Larsen, we would love to be able to ask those questions live on the air. So please ask in the comment section, and we'll do our best to get to them today. Jake, you've created some pretty great ads. I remember seeing that one particular ad that I think I immediately messengered you, and I was like, dude, that's great work. Walk us through that ad and a little bit behind that campaign. I think that's what we're going to dig into today.
Awesome. Yeah, so that was, I'll kind of give you the backstory. I have a friend who started a company called FanPole. And a FanPole allows you to fly a full-size flag from your hitch receiver, from your truck. And so you can go down the freeway and you have like this big flag hanging from your truck or your SUV or whatever that is. And so he built that company and he brought me in to help market it. And I remember thinking, okay, who's gonna buy this type of product? And our original thought was, you know what? It's gonna be sports fans, like people who go to tailgating events, and people who just love sports. And so we built some videos around that and marketed the website that route. The interesting thing came though when we were looking at the year sales, like all of our sales came in the summer, not during the fall when football season is. Right? What's going on here? And so we're kind of making a plan for the next year. What are we going to do to market and get more sales?
Right.
And we knew that we wanted to create a really fun video, an engaging video, and the video had to drive sales. Like, it's a startup. We need to get customers on this. And also we knew that we were going to advertise this. We were going to put good money making the video and producing it and advertising it. So like it had to work. So before we even did a script or concept or anything, I said, you know what? We really need to reach out to our existing customers. We need to get to know them, and let's the plan was, let's build the whole creative around our customers.
That's awesome.
I think a lot of people I think this, and they'll come up with a nice creative and fancy script, but I just wanted to lay the foundation. Like, let's build this whole thing around the customer. So I sent out a survey, and I had 5 questions that I sent out to our customers.
What were those 5 questions?
I'll tell you. I'm glad you asked. So I think it's relevant too. So anyone watching, like, if you have a product or service, I would reach out to your customers and ask them these 5 questions. So 1, in 1 sentence, describe yourself. 2, why specifically did you end up purchasing the fan pole? And you can kind of swap out fan pole for whatever your product or service is.
Okay, are you sure? Okay, all right, good. We got that. Thanks.
List 1 thing that nearly stopped you from buying a fan pole. 4, list 1 thing that you would like to see improved on the fan pole. And then 5, what kind of flag do you have on the fan pole? So those were 5 questions that we sent out, and we got some great responses. And I just did this, like, it was really simple, like through Google Forms, like the Google surveys.
Yeah.
So then we got responses back, and like 90, like some of the replies were hilarious. So here are some of the feedback that we got.
Yeah.
It says, I'm a 22-year-old who drives a Ford Power Truck and loves God, America, Texas, and guns. I'm a 70-year-old who belongs to the Patriot Guard Riders and bought a fan pole to fly my American flag.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a 25-year-old male with a 2015 Chevy Silverado, and I love America. And the last one. You're right.
I'm noticing a theme.
And then the last one was my other favorite one was, I bought the fan pole to fly the American flag and piss off liberals.
Wow. Yeah. So that's like a real demographic.
And you're kind of tapping into who they really are. So, like, you know what? Let's build a creative around this persona and around them, and that was a strategy. Let's build the whole creative around them. So we created
did that summer spike. That summer spike, did that come from the 4th of July?
It came from Memorial Day. It came from 4th of July. And Flag Day. So all those 3 holidays fall within the summertime.
Yeah, summer months. Yeah, and those are real patriotic, holidays for those of you logging in from outside the U.S., like John Orberg, who's coming in from Sweden. Great to have you here, John. Rosh, love your commentary in the comment section, and good to see you guys watching on Facebook as well. We've got some questions coming in. We're going to get to those in just a second. Melissa, can we play like a minute of the ad? I know you were playing some B-roll clips of it. Can we do that? Yeah, she says, yeah. All right, I like to play like a minute of the ad to give people, like, if it's like a 3.5-minute ad, but let's play a minute of it and get a shot. And Jake, maybe you could kind of walk us through the formula for creating an ad that really pops, like this ad from Fanpole.
Yeah.
Shame. Stop embarrassing yourself.
Do you want to take it back to the beginning?
And most importantly, your country. The only piece of equipment. And this is a pole. But this ain't a fan pole. This is a fan pole. Introducing the only piece of equipment designed specifically to elevate your honor. For the whole world to see. Fan pole lets you fly a full-size flag from the back of your rig, so there's no question where your allegiance lies. And we mean flags for all kinds of fans. Football fans, racing fans, fans of freedom, even synchronized swimming. But we know you're not a communist. No! We know you're a proud American, a lover of freedom. So we put a pole on a truck for you to hang sweet old democracy from. And we know you're a believer in power and efficiency, and that's exactly how we built the fan pole. 2 solid pieces of terrifying steel made to easily lock together. Combine that with the freedom to put any size flag you want, and top it off with a locking pin to secure that bad boy into receiver hitch. And you've got a patriotic mass that's sturdy enough to ramrod your musket.
Awesome. Hey, great.
Love
what?
Love it.
You can see that demographic. You can see
Yes.
those people that filled out that survey. Right, Nick?
I grew up in the Midwest. So that's like half of my friends from back home. So yeah, as that's playing, I'm like, wait, do I know that guy? Do I know that guy over there? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Is that Bill?
Yeah, it definitely speaks to that demographic without question. Yeah.
So Jake, a real powerful ad, real funny, and high impact. Tell us about your process behind creating that ad. Now that you've got sort of some raw data.
So after you kind of get your customers, when it comes to an ad, whether it's a Facebook ad or YouTube ad or any type of ad, you really want to get people's attention within the first 5 or 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. And you do that by by calling out who your audience is and speaking to like the pain points or their desires or whatever they're looking for. Yeah. So, within the first 5-10 seconds, you see this burly guy with a beard and he's just holding this American flag that's like all American patriot. So that speaks to our demographic, to our audience and to our customers. And then you don't really see it in there, but we go through some of the pains of having like these dinky window flags that you're flying in a regular car. So we kind of went through that pain, and the solution to that is to fly a full-sized flag from your car. And then also the other important piece in the formula. So I think the two most important pieces in any ad are the very beginning, the intro or the hook. Okay. The next phase is you introduce the problem, you present the solution and some forms of credibility. And then the last part, which is the whole purpose of the ad, is the click. You need to get the click, or it's the call to action. Right. So whenever you're putting good money to make a video, some type of ROI or return there, and that click is important. Getting people off of YouTube, off of Facebook, and going to the website where they can find out more about your product and service.
Okay, so how do we optimize that? I'd love to hear, because I know we want to talk about some things, and I warned you against me going off track, so I'm just saying you've been warned. But you just talked about the click and getting people to take action. And I want to talk about how we can optimize that click, because on a YouTube, it's a pre-roll ad, correct?
Yep.
All right, so you're playing this. So, I'm going to watch a Nick Nimmin video, and all of a sudden this ad starts playing, right? And now, like, I've got a choice. Am I going to continue on to the Nick Nimmin, or am I going to press this thing right away? So how do we optimize for clicks? At what point in the video were you getting clicks, if you can even see that analytic? And if you want to hear the question, don't forget to type 5 in the comment section right now if you're watching on Facebook, or subscribe on YouTube. So Jake, how do we do that? How do we optimize for the click?
So one of the metrics that we optimize for is on a video perspective, there's the view rate. So how long, what's the percentage of people that go from an impression to a view? Mm-hmm. So basically from 0 seconds to 30 seconds. And an average view rate is like 20% view rate. Okay. This video was getting like a 30-35% view rate. So that means the messaging was on point, mm-hmm. and the audience was highly relevant. So it was like the hook worked. The next metric is the click-through rate. So after we have a view, how often are people clicking through? And a standard click-through rate that we try and shoot for, and it totally changes depending on mm-hmm. industry and everything, but we try and shoot for like a 2 to 3% click-through rate. Okay. So basically, out of every 100 views, three people are clicking at the very end. And what you can't see on this is when this is run as a YouTube ad, there's a call to action in the bottom left that pops out, and it's there during the whole video.
Okay, so, and that's part of the YouTube overlay options, right? That YouTube ad software gives you.
Yeah, it's all done within Google AdWords, and it gives you they call it a call to action overlay. Yeah. Or True View for Action call to action. True View for Action call to action. That's a mouthful, but yeah. And then at the very end, you have end screens, right? The end screens are what you can put on the last 20 seconds of every video on YouTube. Yeah. So yeah. It actually ends up looking a lot like the frame. Of that video, the last 20 seconds of that video, it's just the call to action. And in fact, we drug out an extra 20 seconds just for that call to action. That. Yeah. you can just see him like looking at it, inviting people to click. Yeah, so that was an important piece.
Okay, so during that 20 seconds, was there any like click over here? That's right. Don't wait. Go click for it now. Or was there just kind of like a pausing and like an awkward silence? Like, were you continually driving clicks for that last 20 seconds?
It was both. Like, we have this huge like climax scene where jets are flying over him and fireworks are going off, and then we introduce like the end screen button. And Frank, he's the actor. He's like, "What do you do? Like, click the link below." And he kind of sits there awkwardly and kind of waits for it. And then people, and then he keeps kind of inviting people to click and calling them out.
Yeah.
So we have fun with it. Like, the whole intention is to get people to click, but we still have fun with it. Which on YouTube and Facebook, I think that's really important. Is to yeah, like there is a goal to get a sale, but you can also do it in a fun way and in a creative way.
Yeah. And
really in a way that people want to click, like they want to support that. In fact, I've got some comments I can read to you on what people said after watching that ad.
Yeah, read it.
I would love to hear them. To hear them. Yeah.
So yeah, comments are, I mean, just like with any YouTube video, right? Comments can be hilarious. And normally with an ad, people are annoyed by them. And so this is what was really fun. One of them was, "This is how YouTube ad should be, not some crappy Geico ad." Another one is, "This is a great ad. If I had a truck, I'd buy one for sure." Or better yet, "I should just buy a truck. I should just buy a truck to go with this." Another one was, "I just ordered 1,776 of these bad boys."
Yeah, 1776. That's great.
So we had some really fun.
That is such a win, right? To kind of like come off of a campaign and start to get people telling you they really liked the ad. What about, you talked about CTR, shooting for like a 2 to 3%, right? Which is that Amazon is closing right around 3%, right? So that's kind of where that number comes from. You're shooting for that. How many people are actually clicking? What did you guys do? Can you talk to us a little bit about results, sales, that sort of thing?
Yep. So we had this video. We promoted it as a YouTube in-stream ad, and we also did Facebook ads. We ran it from like June or mid-June to mid-July or end of July.
Yeah.
And for overall, like the overall campaign, from an ad perspective, we got 180% ROAS.
Wow.
Return on ad spend. So for every $1 we spent on ads, we were getting making $1.80 in sales.
Wow.
I mean, as far as the targeting, some of the people that we were targeting, one of these was a cold audience. So these are people who had never heard or seen the fan pool before. It's a cold audience, but we targeted people who owned a truck, as well as conservatives. Yeah, naturally, right? So that one was a hot, like that campaign alone was getting like a 300% ROAS.
Amazing.
So we were making $3 for every $1 spent on that.
Now, with the like that return of on ad spend, how long did it take to get those results? Or you said in the beginning you ran like a 4-month campaign.
This one was about 30 days. So
30 days. Oh, exciting. So that's pretty quickly. Turning a profit there.
And the reason why is because we ran it during the summer, like our high volume month. And I want to do, my goal for next year is I want to do another video that's more football or sports oriented and run it during the fall. I think that would perform really well. But so that was cool. So from an ad platform perspective, those were the results we're getting. But then we also saw a huge bump. So when you're tracking your analytics, you can see where traffic's coming from and where the sales are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we noticed that our organic sales went up and our direct website sales went up. So like they went up by like 380% on direct traffic.
Okay.
And so the conclusion I drew from that is people were watching that fan poll video on YouTube or Facebook.
Yeah.
They were pausing the ad, opening up a new tab, and searching fan poll, or they're going directly to fanpoll.com.
Yeah.
And then they were purchasing.
Yeah,
So,
fantastic. So they're helping all,
that's
like,
a fantastic name as well. Like having an easy to remember name is also, I'm sure, an awesome or an important element when you're doing something like that as well. Because like fan poll, I mean that makes so much sense in terms of the name and just being able to easily remember that. That I'm sure has something to do with it as well. As in terms of just people being able to talk about it. Hey, have you seen that fan poll ad? Or hey, have you seen the fan poll? Hey, I'm thinking of getting a fan poll for the truck. Have you heard about them? Like that kind of stuff.
I love the accent that you just like went into like a Tennessee accent. Yeah, you heard about them fan polls, and I think we all kind of hear it. We all kind of hear that twang.
That's ingrained in my soul. That's just my soul coming out.
It truly is. It truly is. And it's always a joy to see you kind of come back to the States and hang out with your mom, and see you in that changed environment. Hey, what questions do you have for Jake Larsen? Ask him in the comment section below. We've got a few we're going to get to right now. But Jake, you also have kind of like converted your success here with FanPoll into success with a family vlog as well, right? So this is kind of a question that keeps kind of coming up is the business versus channel thing, right? But you've had success with YouTube ads on your channel as well, right?
Yeah. So about a little over a year ago, I wanted to have like another project that we do as a family, and wanted to create a YouTube channel for around the family, what we do, like adventures that we do as a family and kind of everyday life. And I remember kind of thinking through how I'm going to do this, and it's weird to be able to film yourself on a video and upload it and realizing that nobody's watching. It's kind of just a weird mindset. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure, like, if we were to do this, I wanted to make sure that we had an audience. And ads. What's nice about advertising is it provides you a guaranteed way of getting your message in front of very specific types of people. I know lots of people spend months and sometimes even years just uploading organically to YouTube or Facebook, kind of hoping that their stuff gets picked up, but they could be doing that for months or years and nothing happens. So I had like an organic strategy that was going, but also I wanted to kind of expedite the process. And so with our YouTube channel trailer, I shot a simple video introducing our family. I had my little girl in it, and we made a really fun intro and kind of introduction. And the call to action was to subscribe to our channel to follow us on our journey.
Do we have that, Melissa? You don't have that? I got it in the messenger. It's a very cute commercial. And so you guys ran that as an ad to grow the channel?
So yeah, so that was the goal, was to have that ad going to grow the channel. And what I did was, what made this work really well is I looked up like the top 100 family vlog YouTube channels. So I had this list of people who, like, it's a relevant audience, right? If they're following other vlogs, they're probably going to want to follow our channel as well. And so I started running ads on their YouTube channels. And that's how I grew. Like, we grew, like, I think it was like 6 weeks, we got 12,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow, so, 12,000 subscribers. Did you have what was the cost on that, your cost per subscriber?
I got really technical, so I segmented like based on channel. I did inside the US, outside the US. So what I learned, here's the video you can see. Going back, let's see, inside the US. You
guys are like models. It's like a model family.
You shouldn't see us off camera. Working.
We save our best for the vlog.
There you go, right there you go.
And she's crying. Look at how fun this is. It's hilarious. That's hilarious. So great. So you ran that in front of these vlog channels, and then you got 12,000 subscribers for your channel.
Yep. Yeah. And so what I learned was, like, inside the US, our cost per subscriber varied. It was like between like 50 cents, like between 75 cents to $1. And then outside the US, that dropped, and then we get in those lows like 25 cents to 50 cents.
Wow. Okay, great. So, you have like running the gamut there, and certainly, building a YouTube ads business that's, probably helping to pay for all of that. So fantastic from Jake Larsen. We've got a question coming in here from Jeff Eatley, and Jeff is asking, at what point would you start testing ads? When I have something to sell or just to attract views for the channel?
That's a good question. So I would recommend that you have some type of plan to sell a product, because when you want to be able to recapture your funds that you're spending, right? So one thing that I did like when I started my agency is I knew I was going to have sell some digital products, and I was going to kind of grow this consulting. So I didn't really have customers yet, but I knew that was the goal. And so I created a free video marketing course, where I could capture a lead. So a name and email, like a way I could reach people when I needed to. And I started to spend like $10 a day on ads, and I started building my list. So now I had this list of people who were interested in what I could put in what I had and what I could offer people. And then when I had a list of 1,000 people, I invited them to purchase this course that I had created. And that's kind of what started and lifted that process. So I would do both. Like, I think you need to be driving traffic to, and maybe it's a YouTube channel, and then from that YouTube channel you get more subscribers, and then you can sell, you can do brand deals, right? Because you have more subscribers and you can do a brand deal with them. I think you have to have some type of mindset or way that you can make money, whether that's through brand deals, selling a product or a service, in order to compensate you for your work.
Right, in order to make some money back.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Mark Hartnell was saying that he likes to target channels as well. The targeting on YouTube, I think, is worth it alone, at least getting your feet wet in it and sort of experimenting, because there's so many cool things that you can do. You can target per channel. You can also target per video. A lot of fun things there. Joe Roderick, who's very active in the YouTube group, is saying, what sort of products are suited for YouTube advertising? Overall, I find YouTube overlay advertisements irritating, and they play repeatedly. It wouldn't be so bad with rotation. So what sort of products are suited to YouTube advertising? And do people get annoyed?
Yeah, of course they do. I think it's known that some YouTube ads are like the most hated 5 seconds on the internet, right?
I like that. I like that.
You gotta do it right. Like if you gotta know your audience and find out who they are, and then kind of create an ad around them. And when you can do that, it engages the audience, and you're kind of entertaining, you're educating, and you're inviting people to take a further step if they're interested. So the question, what was the question again?
What sort of products work best on the YouTube?
So as a YouTube ad, I think the next step is to give the audience something for free that they can download, or that a special training for free in exchange for their name and email.
Yeah.
So a lot of campaigns that we're working on right now are like webinars. So you have like a special training on how to grow your business as an entrepreneur, or whatever that training is. Or you have maybe you want to get people on the phones and like talk with people on a consulting call. So a free consultation, or a free video course, like a 3-segment mini course where you'll learn this, this, and this.
Yeah.
So running people to a deliverable that you can give them value for free in exchange for their name and email. And then on that webinar or that mini course, that next step is, hey, if you enjoyed this training, I do have this service you can access here, or this course. So that's kind of the progression of that video ad. In terms of annoying people, though, I know what you're saying. Like there's a setting in your campaigns called the frequency cap,
right,
where you can say, I want to show this video no more than 3 times within a month to the same person. And so that way you're running the ad, they're seeing it every once in a while, but they're not getting like annoyed by it. So
do you recommend? So
there's some very aggressive advertisers, and there's some like you can do it in a tasteful way.
Is there a cap that you recommend?
We, depending on if a launch, we'll do 3 to 5 impressions per week. And that way people are seeing, if they're on YouTube, that they're seeing your video anywhere between 3 to 5 times a week.
Is it different on Facebook and YouTube? Because the reason I ask is I'm reading a book right now by Roy Williams, who's talking all about, right? Roy Williams is the Wizard of Ads, very well known in sort of the advertising space, and he talks about repetition.
Yeah.
Your thoughts? Are you saying like manage the repetition, or generally are you like send it to him?
So I got a good story on that. When I first started running ads and had my course, the first 10 people that bought my course, I called them up on the phone. I wanted to know all about them. So one of them his name was Tom, and he bought my course. And I said, "Hey Tom, like tell me about yourself." And I asked him like, "What did you first think when you saw my advertising?" Before that, I said, "How was it that you found this course? Like, why did you purchase it?" He's like, I kept seeing your YouTube ads. I said, "Okay, what did you think of the YouTube ads?" And he said, "I thought you were annoying at first, but after like 7 times of seeing your ad, I said, let's just see what this guy has to say."
Yeah.
So he checked it out, shot me an email. I replied back, and he ended up buying the course.
I think so too. Just the more. Some people are saying, like Joe Roderick is saying, I don't mind the ads so much. Them Hemsaths, which is our family vlog channel, go subscribe to Them Hemsaths, is commenting on YouTube. And she's saying for sure, Facebook knows me well. I've purchased a handful of products from those ads for sure. We're actually very happy with ads. Like as a family, we're like, oh my gosh, even if we don't buy, it's like that was a great ad, right? That was a great ad for me. Ryan Rodenbeck of Spyglass Realty in Austin, Texas, is asking, what about services such as realtor services? Jake, what would you recommend for advertising realtor services?
So realtor services, I mean, that's a kind of a big, I think there has to be a lot of education going on when somebody's going to buy a home. So I would have some type of training or webinar or download where you're teaching like, hey, these are the 3 mistakes that something like, what are the challenges, or just kind of educate them on the space where they can go through and watch this training, or they can download the sheet.
That's cool.
And then all those people who download it, you get their name and email. So now you have this contact list of people who are interested, like who are in the market in your space.
Yeah.
And then say, hey, I'd love to schedule a call with you so I can kind of share with you what I see working in your area, or have some type of way to connect with them on an individual level. And that way people are kind of scheduling time with you as a realtor, and they're educated. They know what you do. They know the value that you have to offer. So then it's just a matter of talking with them and providing them more value.
Figuring that out. Right, running the rest of that out. So great stuff there. We talk to realtors a lot. We spend a lot of time with realtors, and we talk to them about, having like a regular, kind of like what you're saying, like a regular presence on YouTube that you're targeting to your area. So you're like, you're doing a tip, you say, hey, if you're looking to move in Austin, Texas, this neighborhood has got some fantastic little homes and a great new park, great new school. And so, hey, the next time you're in the area, why don't you drive by? And remember, this message brought to you by Spyglass Realty, right? And you're just there every 2 weeks, 3 weeks with some type of presence, right? That is just reminding the customer that you're there. It's the new bench ad, right? It's the new billboard ad, right? And you're just saying, I'm a part of this community. And so that might be something to look at. We had a question come in here. I can't find who asked it.
Yeah, while you're looking for that, Owen, I've got a question as well. Have you found, Jake, that certain products do better, or certain products or services do better with one type of ad versus another type of ad on YouTube? Like, does one product do better, with the in-streams versus the discovery on another product, or vice versa? Have you found a relation there?
So in terms of product, what works really well is when you have a product that's for the masses. Like the more competition in your industry, the better. So like the fitness industry or the health industry, like there's so many people who need help with health and fitness that there's so many places to customize your message on specific YouTube channels. Like that's like really easy.
Yeah.
And then there's audiences or products that are more niche, like where you're trying to reach only business owners or only doctors, right? And that's more of a challenge. It's still doable, but you're just going to do it on a smaller scale. So we've done
fitness.
both.
What you're saying is like the fitness would be better for like the in-stream ad. Is that what you mean by that? Because then you'd be able to put the videos in front of you'd be able to put the videos in front of all of the other videos on YouTube that are about fitness, like that kind of.
Yeah, that. But then to your point, there's certain types of videos that work better in-stream versus discovery. So in-stream ads, like our sweet spot for duration is between like 60 seconds to 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
Like anywhere in between there. For discovery ads, though, those could be like 15 to 20 minutes. Those are you click on a discovery ad and you're taking and you're watching a video, and then you can make that invitation to purchase the product. And I like to think of the video length in comparison to the ask. So if you're asking people to watch a 60-second, if you're asking people to opt in for something for free, you can't just get away with a 10 to 15-second video and like, hey, watch this, check it out. Like, and it just kind of just comes off weird. So, but having like a 2 to 3 minute invitation on what they can expect when they do opt in or when they do download that lead magnet is great. If you're asking for someone to buy a product for like $100, you may not be able to get away with a 1.5 or 2 minute video. You may need to have like a longer video. Maybe it's a 5 to 7 minute, or could be a 12 minute, like whatever that ask is. So I try and think of what am I asking them to do, and the bigger the ask, the longer and more powerful the video needs to be.
Incredible. Now,
Fantastic.
Tommy Powers was on the show a few weeks ago. He talked about video ad sequencing as as sort of another tactic for creating that frequency in the mind of a customer. That's kind of where the real estate, sequencing ads idea comes from. Have you played with that at all, Jake? Video ad sequencing?
We do a lot of YouTube ad sequencing.
Yeah.
So Tommy's a smart dude. We've geeked out together as well. And so the concept there is, like, let's say your sales funnel, right, is you want to get people to your website.
Yeah.
Stage 2, you want to get people to download something, and then stage 3, you want to invite them to purchase. Well, you need to have a video for each ask. So a video that gets them to educate them on your website, and then those people who've been to your website, another video that invites them to download your lead magnet, and then the third video only targets the people who opted in, and they're being invited to purchase your product.
Yeah.
So only certain people are seeing the ad depending on what action they've taken.
Right. Fantastic advice from Jake Larsen. We got one last question, and then we're going to wrap up here. Graham Hoffman is asking, I presume when shooting your ad, you are tailoring your campaign based on the audience's video preference. And then he goes on to explain kind of what he means. But I think what he's asking is, like, how do you know the type of video your audience is going to like?
Based on your survey, based off your information and knowledge you have on the audience. So like with that fan poll, I let the audience just tell me who are they, and I'm going to build the creative around them. I think if you just do a good filter is, are you speaking to your audience, and are you providing value and entertainment?
Yeah. Does your ad look like your audience, right? Because like if you were to have a guy in sort of like a polo shirt, right, doing like an infomercial type thing, right, that wouldn't look like your audience. Whereas in this ad, I'm looking at the person who's going to own the fan poll.
You're right.
Yeah, you can even see that in this video. The part that was just on the screen right here, they made that visual separation between, like basically the people doing it the wrong way. They were like driving a Prius and they had like a little pink polka dotted flag, right? Which is like the complete other end of the spectrum of, what that demographic would be into, versus as soon as he gets past that, then he goes, hey, I'm carrying this big pole with a humongous flag in front of this gigantic truck. You know what I mean? To bring that power back into the pole. I mean, like that by itself is awesome. But in terms of, communicating with your audience, I mean, that speaks volumes in terms of, making that connection.
And then too, just, I think as long as, again, provide value and and through education, and then it being entertaining. So before you even like create your video, reach out to that audience, whether it's a phone call or a survey. Ask them what challenges that they're facing. What hesitations do they have in the real estate market?
Yeah.
What hesitations do they have about buying a home? And then just create an ad that relates to them, that they can connect with and identify with, and then provide solutions to what those challenges are with an invitation to take that next step if they're interested. I think gone are the days of like this forced advertising where like you're yelling at people like, we got a fire sale downtown, you got to buy right now. Like,
yeah.
Why are we still yelling at people? It just throws so many people off. Just like try and connect with them on an individual level, understand their challenges, provide value. And if you do the video right, they're going to want to click. They're going to want to take that next step with you.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. And I'm reading again in Roy H. Williams talking about the advertiser who says, yells and screams and Sunday, is taking the low road. It knows they need to grab attention, and they do so in rude and Neanderthal ways. What we need to do is finesse and seduce the customer into, and not in a romantic way, of course, but in a way that lures them in. It's the pie in the window for Woody Woodpecker that kind of like causes him to sort of just float on over to it. And that's a great lesson. Jake, how do we stay in touch with you and learn more about what you're doing?
We just launched a new website, videopower.com. I've got I got a download, that video ad formula download that people can download and apply. I got a YouTube ad calculator so people can kind of see what metrics they need to hit in order to get a return on their ad spend. So I check out videopower.com and use all those resources there.
Videopower.com, ladies and gentlemen. Go check it out. Start running YouTube ads. Whether you're a creator, a service provider, or a product salesperson, get used to the interface. The worst that could come from it is that you get a great education in a platform that could possibly set you apart from your competition. Nick, another fantastic episode in the bag.
And really quick, before we wrap this up, I have one quick question. Do you have a price point recommendation? So like, let's say somebody has a product and they're selling that product for $5. Would ads be right for them versus somebody that's selling a product for $100 or $500? Like what is your limit that you found to where you can get a decent return on it?
I would say that your product your average order value should be around $60 to $70. If you're selling something less than that, it's just really hard to get paid ads to work. I'm not saying it's impossible. I haven't done it, and it makes it really challenging.
Right.
So, but then we've had people who have like a $10,000 program that run ads to a webinar and can sell that program through the webinar or through that phone call. So there's quite a price range that can get it to work. I would say at least $60 to $70. I would prefer to have $100 customer value.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
$97 course, a $97 appointment, something like that, or you're running traffic and you're letting your landing page and retargeting do the work. So much to look at when it comes to YouTube ads, and Jake is the best in the business. So don't forget to check out his website. Don't forget to check all three of us out at Video Marketing World coming up in next week. We're going to be at Video Marketing World in Dallas, Texas.
I'll see you guys next week.
Woo. Yeah, exactly. So we might do a live stream from there. We might just kind of drop in and say hello, but the show won't be broadcast as the regular scheduled show. So be sure to type subscribe or click subscribe if you're on YouTube listening to the show on iTunes, and if you're watching on Facebook, type 5. That's right. Give me 5. Right into the comment section, and you will subscribe to the show. Great to have you here, guys. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next week on the Business of Video podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Business of Video podcast. If you like the show, give us a review on iTunes or share this episode on social media now. Join us next time on Facebook Live. Just visit businessofvideopodcast.com and subscribe to the newsletter updates. This podcast is brought to you by Tuber Tools and BizTubeAcademy.com.